Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome today. Today is Tuesday, the 14th of April, 2026, and I'm Pearson Bowen. And maybe I'm the first to hear you say to you today, good morning. And today I say to you, good morning. How do you do? Here's hoping you have a lovely day today, having had a restful night. And you're looking forward to all you can do today to make a difference to self and a difference to others as well. We've been given two commandments: love God and love our neighbors as we love ourselves. There's none greater than either of those. And so we want to encourage you today, as you spend time contemplating your plan for the day, that you remember there is a God who exists, who grants you life and breath and being. And so give him all the thanks and the praise first, and then you consider others as well and how you can make a difference to someone today. It's a terrific Tuesday indeed, and I want you to take time to do so for someone, even if it's just a smile, a good morning, a how do you do. Here's wishing you better. I wish you peace. And so to all of you watching us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, cbc.bb, good morning. Thank you so much for waking up to keep us company. Remember, you can always continue to have your comments between yourselves, but encourage you always to send your messages to us as well. Love to read what you have to say as well, and encourage you to do so all the time. And again, I remind you, if you know of something or a story about someone that has to be told by us, tell us about it. We encourage you to partner with us indeed, and you can do so by sending us an email. The email address is right there on your screen. Take a look. It's morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And we thank you for partnering with us in what we do every single day. To Miss White, who I had the opportunity to have a face call with on the weekend. Good morning to you, ma'am. She tells me she watches the show every day. She doesn't miss a beat as it relates to Morning Barbados. And so we had an opportunity. I was introduced to you via the phone. And so I want to wish you a beautiful today as well. One day soon we shall meet, as you've been asking. So one day soon we shall meet. Don't you worry about it. Have faith, have hope, and most of all, share your love today. There's a lot to look forward to. Today we're celebrating and getting a review of what happened at Carifta in Grenada. You remember Anmar Goodrich-Boyce was there. He'll join us as he reflects for just a moment on the mood, the atmosphere, the victory, no loss, because we're quite satisfied with the outcome. And so we want to get a review from him about how we did. How did we do there for sure? We'll be bringing you from the country of beauty to Barbados. There's a cultural exchange. And so what do we know about Colombia? And what can we know better about Colombia as we explore that beautiful South American country? We'll talk more to the ambassador of Colombia to Barbados, and she'll share with us, along with her cultural attaché, about some series of things that they're having to engage with us so that we get closer and closer yet still to the people and the passion and the history and the culture and the beauty of Colombia. We'll talk about that in just a little while as well. The children of Barbados are being challenged in robotics and STEM, and so we'll introduce you today about an upcoming camp and a challenge. Both events we'll talk to you a little bit more about when they joined us this morning to talk about that. And before the day is done, the top three in the 2026 Mr. Executive Challenge will be sitting with us. We have winners. And so we want to introduce you to those wonderful young men who put themselves beyond themselves in competition for the position of Mr. Executive 2026. And when the dust settled, proud to say, Alexandra copped the award. And so he'll sit with us along with the runners-up, and we'll talk to them about the journey, the changes they've seen in self, and some of the things that they did while on the night to be able to receive the awards that they did. So a wonderful, wonderful morning with you today. So we're looking forward to spending all of that and a whole lot more straight ahead right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There's a place where traditions taste like chocolate with cheese and ajiaco. Here, you walk through villages of cobbled streets that reveal our origins. And those streets meet with avenues and buildings, roads that our heroes forged. Because here history was written between Paramo Mountains and horseshoe paths. And these lead you to unique legends such as that of El Dorado, with a present that keeps all our past. This is the land of paramos and valleys, of colored lagoons and parks that keep secrets and stories of our indigenous people. This is the beauty you were unaware of, but that today surprises you. The beauty of the Colombian Eastern Andes of the country. Colombia, the country of beauty.
I could not say it better than that. I hope you saw it yourself why Colombia is known as the country of beauty. It truly is stunning, not just in its landscapes from valley to hills and the like, and the waterfalls that you would have just seen, but to its culture as well. And there's a lot that we can all engage with when we visit Colombia real soon. So happy to be joined this morning by Colombia's ambassador to Barbados, Her Excellency Elizabeth Taylor-Jay. Good morning to you, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Bowen. Thank you so much for having us here again. This is just so amazing to...
You've become a friend of Barbados.
I know.
And a friend of Mornin Barbados as
Yes,
well.
and that's the idea.
That's the
I
idea.
mean, it's more a diplomacy, a human diplomacy that what I think is the best approach for us to really engage in so many activities and build this strong long-term bilateral relation with Barbados.
Indeed, so you brought along your cultural attaché,
Yes.
Natalia Ramirez. Natalia, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How do you do?
I'm very pleased to be here. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here and to tell you a little bit about our cultural agenda that we will start developing this week.
And I'm telling you, folks, it is exciting, the things that they'll be sharing with us starting this week. And so, Ambassador, let's talk a little bit about the culture so people
Yes.
get a sense. Is Colombia what we think South American? Oftentimes, in ignorance, we don't quite see the beauty
Yes.
that you know exists in Colombia and the cultural beauty. Give us the breadth of the culture generally of Colombia and its vastness.
Okay, so Colombia have more than 65 ethnicities, and at the same time, the same amount of languages are attached to these ethnicities, and even Colombia have English territory where English is spoken. So we have of course the first people on the land, which are the Indians from the different tribes that exist in Colombia, and then we have the Afro-descendant that are across the different regions, but especially on the coastal areas, and the majority of the Colombian Pagans and so many ethnicities and group in our country that make it, as how you say, Colombia, the country of beauty, because we are the second in biodiversity, but at the same time, we are very rich culturally, and so is all these traditions that we have related to what we do on on the rural areas, coffee, cocoa, and so many varieties of activities.
And that's what I was going to come to, the coffee in particular, because Bajans love coffee. Bajans love Colombian coffee. And there's so many varieties of the coffee. It's stunning to behold. So they asked the question, I could hear it in my ear, where does coffee grow? On the land, but low or high heights? Where does it grow?
Okay. So it's grow in like in a mid part of the country, where heights are over 1,500 meters. But of course, Colombia is a mountainous country, so that's the reason why it spreads through 22 of Colombia's 32 departments. 70% of our departments have coffees, but it's concentrated more in a region, and where Natalia comes from, which is the whole coffee region, and she's from Medellin, but that belongs to Antioquia, which is the department, and we have other departments like Quindío, Caldas, and the other ones.
Santander.
Yeah, so tell me about where you're from, Natalia, and the coffee industry, and how people really use coffee to uplift self and add it to the value to their culture.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Medellin, as the ambassador said. This is the capital of Antioquia. That is one of the departments of the departments that produce a lot of variety of coffee. So as you said, in Colombia we have plenty of variety and special coffee that are special because of the scents, because we grow coffee on the shadow, and it is cultivated manually, so that is why our coffee is so special, and it's part of our culture, of our everyday way of living.
Every turn you make this coffee, and that's the beauty, because in the varieties that you also grow and reap. Let's talk a little bit about that, the different tastes and flavors that one can get from the types of coffee.
Well, you could taste thousands of flavors. Somehow you could taste coffee with a scent of cocoa, with a scent of cherry, with a scent of with a fruital scent. So yeah, you have plenty and a lot of variety of coffees, and that is why one of our cultural activities that is going to be developed next week is about coffee and our not only what we produce, but our culture around coffee.
And this is so exciting, because oftentimes we get to the basic coffee that we have here. It's very basic. And you were saying there's so many other varieties of coffee that Colombia wants us to know about. And it's grown in your area, your land, and the people threw themselves deeply into the culture of coffee and are farming that coffee because you know what it brings and the value it brings to the community as well. When is this event, so we can get to know more about the coffee?
Well, this event will be held next week. So we will have 4 experts from Colombia. We will have one expert, one barista, that is from the coffee region. He's from a city called Circasia, which is in the Eje Cafetero. It's an amazing region if you want to go to Colombia and have the coffee experience. Also, we would have a chef, and he specializes on the food that joins a cup of coffee and our cocoa, that it's also a very important product of our country and of our culture. And we will have 2 experts in cocoa that comes from the Pacific region of Colombia. Also, these amazing events will be joined by a singer. She's a singer that comes from the Eje Cafetero, from the coffee region of Colombia. So yeah, we would have a lot of activities, so you can taste a little bit of what we have.
And we can't wait to talk more about that. But Ambassador, why is it important we're doing this? So that we better understand each other, I suppose?
Yeah, so I think when people think about coffee, they just think about the economy, like how much revenue coffee can bring to Colombia. But for us, it's more than that. It's more than the economy. It's the culture that is totally linked to coffee. For instance, we have more than 500,000 coffee growers families in Colombia, and it's the 22% of all our agro products that are exported. It represents 22% of the GDP that generates from the agro products. And on the other side, cocoa, it's a product that was there with the indigenous people, and especially from the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, which is this mountain range that is right beside the sea, where also our Arawak people says that that's the center of the art, because it's connect nature with spirituality, with people's spirituality. So that's it has such a deep connection. But cocoa now, it moves also in our country to a product that is related to resilience. Because we had this 6 decades of internal conflict. So cocoa is one of the products now that are being used to replace coca crops, and it's booming now with the different, I would say, families and communities. And we are having some ladies that are coming from Afro Mubaras, which is a collective, an organization of more than 500 women, and they are processing the cocoa, and we are going to have the opportunity to taste some of these products.
And it's a very high quality cocoa. We have been recognized as a country that produces high quality cocoa as well. So that is why it's so important for you to know.
Yeah, and I can't wait to know when as well, and where it will be, so we can all come and taste and see. I like the idea that you're using the chef to pair coffee, so we get a sense of how we can add flavor to the palate and experience coffee beyond measure. And that's just one of the cultural activities that we're engaged with the Embassy of Colombia to Barbados. And so we'll take a break here. When we come back, I want to hear more about what else is Colombia bringing to Barbados for us to engage with, so we widen our knowledge about Colombia. We'll be right back after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're We're 19 past the hour. I feel as though I'm already in the country of beauty, Colombia. Don't you feel that way already? Coffee coming to Barbados, and they're bringing a chef along, and as well as the people who help to farm and grow and create the blends that we absolutely enjoy. And that's coming really, really soon. That's the Embassy of Colombia making all of this possible for all of us across the island indeed, with the Ambassador of Colombia to Barbados, Her Excellency Elizabeth Taylor-Jay, and Natalia Ramirez, who is the Cultural Attaché. And so, Ambassador, when is this experience that we will have in coffee and cocoa?
Okay, so next week, from Thursday through the weekend, we will have a set of program. But on Friday, it's going to be like the grand premiere when we will have the Andean singer that will deliver a concert, and then we will have demonstrations of the products that the chef produce, the ladies that are coming with cocoa, and also the barista, which coming from Circassia, but he is he's a champion in filtering coffee in our country, so we are bringing the best to this activity.
So the best is coming. We have to be there. And so, what time to what time on Friday should we show up?
Okay, on Friday,
up to
so
6.
it's going to happen. I mean, they don't know yet, but we are about to confirm at the Horticultural Society if it's available. And it will be like from 5.
From 5?
5
Okay.
to, yeah.
It's an afternoon event.
Afternoon event when the sun
With
is
the
beginning to go
sunset.
down,
Yeah.
and then the flavors come up.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
going to be
that's the
wonderful indeed.
idea.
Next week, folks, next week, note it. Tell all of your coffee drinkers, wherever you know them, to come to see the variety of blends and the flavors and different ways that we can use coffee to be a part of it, or eating experience. Also, come listen to some wonderful music performed by some brilliant people from Colombia as well, and you know, engage. That's the whole point. And so there are a slate of activities happening this month and also next month, and there are some young people you're bringing to Barbados as well.
Yes. During July, we will have from the 15th through the 24th. We will have 9 young people that are coming from Tolu Viejo, which is a region in the coastal areas of the Caribbean, and the most important thing, this is a program that our ministry have for more than 10 years, and it's tried to promote the youth for cultural and even sports exchanges. And the interesting thing is that we try to choose one of the group that haven't traveled before. So they are coming from the little village, and it's the first time that they are going to leave the country, get on a plane, and even maybe knowing a spectacular island like Barbados. So it's going to be like an amazing experience for them. But the idea is for them to exchange with young people and have even some cultural activities that we will do together. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I'm looking forward to that in July.
July.
Pearson, be patient. Wait, it's coming. But Natalia, there is a photographer, a world-renowned photographer who's also coming to Barbados. Tell us about when that is and what are we going to be doing when he's here?
Well, we would have a Pulitzer Award Colombian photographer. He will be here for 1 week in the month of May. So the idea with Ivan is to do workshops for youth people and to see Barbados through the eyes of youth. So we are planning to have different workshops in which Ivan could teach young people how to use their cell phones to create amazing photographies, and maybe they could use this knowledge for the future and to become a professional on that area. So the idea is to have those workshops and at the end make an exhibition of what these teenagers have done during the week, and have like a contest in which we could have some juries and decide what is the best picture.
This is next month, May?
This is
That is
May.
next month.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, we are like we are restless with so many cultural programs, but we are so happy to do these type of programs, and especially we want to engage several programs with the youth because we know that there is a focus and emphasis here in Barbados to do a strong work with the youth, and we are totally engaged in of course, being part of that whole transformative vision that the government have for the youth.
A Pulitzer Prize winning photographer is coming to Barbados from Colombia. They're sending their best, they're bringing their best in to engage with our young people, to make of our young people the best that they have. And so there are a series of workshops. And I could hear people at home asking all the same time, but okay, I have a little one who's brilliant on the phone, who can do this, and how can they be a part of the workshop? What's the plan there?
Okay, I think the idea is that we will just launch out like a registration, but also we will work with collectives that already are working with young people, and the idea is to take this activity to the countryside also, because a lot of things happen in Bridgetown, but we really want this to be an island broad initiative where we can see the expression of the youth with their environment, and of course the entire prospect of what we see to the future also through their eyes, but using photography.
But folks, just watching the media, and of course you'll get to know a whole lot more. Can we engage? Do you have social media we can engage with, or
yes,
you do?
We have Instagram, which is our main social media.
She's excited about this.
Yeah. That is Embajada Call Barbados.
Okay.
So you could find us.
Embajada Call Barbados.
Yeah.
Just find it on social media and you can follow, and they will let you know when the workshops will begin and how you can be a part of it and register to be, or have your child registered to be, and learn from one of the very best, one of the world's best photographers indeed from Colombia. And this is only just the beginning, because you have a whole year planned of cultural activities that we're engaging with. There's one that we'll talk about on Thursday, which really, I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk to you about, but I shan't do that today. But, you know, in bringing all of this to Barbados, it's more than just simply saying, Barbadians, look, this is what we do. We also want Barbadians to consider coming to Colombia and sharing what we do, so that Colombians also benefit from the exchange.
Yeah, so we have been, of course, speaking to some of the ministers, and for instance, with Minister Griffiths, we have talked about doing some exchange in Colombia, also with young people from Barbados going to the country. So we are about to sit also with his team to make sure that we can do the fine planning on what we would do to get young people and some initiatives to our country, but. We have a Spanish course.
I'm coming to that.
Yeah, but before before that, I just want to share with you all an experience that we had, and I think with the programs that we did last year, it's like an outcome. So one of the writers that came last year, she just finished write a book, and her book, the scenery of her book is Barbados.
Well
so we're looking also to see to get funding for her to come to Barbados to launch her book here in Barbados.
That's exciting indeed. This is really, really wonderful, the Spanish program. We shall not allow language to create a barrier. The beauty of Colombia cannot be hidden because of language. And so let's talk about those language classes that you're talking about.
Okay, so last year we delivered a first course in that we graduated 59 students from public servant and people from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and this year it's going to have that same focus, but we have been also speaking to various educational and public and private universities in Colombia to see how also they can have some efforts bringing to Barbados. So they are discussing with their partners here, and we hope that we have more surprises on Spanish, not only the course that the embassy is going to deliver, but other initiatives that will unravel in the second half of the year.
We have a group of students, well, a number of students here who are just so strong in Spanish, but what you're taught in the classroom is what you're taught in the classroom. It's in the streets, it's among people that you really begin to practice and understand the different nuances that come with language. And so Colombia is prepared to say, hey, we can help where that's concerned. And so you're opening yourselves up and you're allowing your expertise to come to Barbados to engage with our teachers and our public servants and then eventually our students. So we begin to see a meaningful exchange of language and we can now understand each other better. I no longer have to wait for someone to interpret, but I can interpret for myself and understand what's happening. And so I think that's important. The other exchange I know that you're doing is in film and using the visuals. Let's talk a little. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so we are preparing our second project also for the second half, and definitely we are going to have like a film festival too. And we are planning to have like a whole gastronomic event where we have sample of foods from different regions of Colombia, but we are in the process to raise the funds for that next activity, but we really want to also accomplish that.
So there's a lot happening, folks. Between now and then, there's a lot still happening. Remember, this is April. Very, very soon, we get a chance to enjoy next week the coffee, the blends, the ways we can really enjoy our coffee with the foods we can enjoy with the coffee, all of those. Just have immerse yourself fully in the culinary culture of Colombia. That's important. And so that's happening next Friday from about 5 in the afternoon. It's at the Horticultural Societies. Once we finalize all of that, we will tell you, but follow their social media and get to know a whole lot more about what's happening. Get your children ready also later on in the year for that cultural exchange with other young people like themselves who are coming from Colombia. We'll engage with them. We exchange from music to conversation, everything, just the way we dress and the difference in culture we'll explore. Also, there's a photographer who's coming to engage with our young people. He wants to see what we see and he wants to show us what he sees, so just in case we didn't see it ourselves. But he teaches us how to be able to use the technology that we seem somehow attached to so intimately to create stunning images of ourselves, and then eventually we'll have a showcase of all of that as well. And all along the way, we have to continue practicing our language, familiarize ourselves with the language, and there are opportunities that the Colombian Embassy is providing for all as well to begin to that facility in language is important for communication. But there's something that's coming up on Thursday. We'll tell you, we'll tell you about that on Thursday, for sure. But it's going to be brilliant because there are a group of women who are coming to Barbados, and they will show you how, just by dint of hard work, love of what there's the space where they are, and how it makes a difference when we all put our hands together to achieve one thing and weave a wonderful pattern. I'll say that broadly so you get an idea. And that's going to happen on Thursday, so you will have to tune in on Thursday for that. But Ambassador, is there anything else you want to share that I might have missed?
Oh, no, I think I think you have laid out a very important ground for this cultural program that we have this year, and to continue to collaborate and work very closely with the Division of Youth and Culture at the Prime Minister Office. We are thinking about other programs also to work jointly with.
Keep thinking, we love it. Online, our folks are saying congratulations to Colombia on bringing our people together. So well done. The folks are logging in and they're connecting with what we're talking about. Remember, give us again, Natalia, the social media handle.
Embajada Col Barbados.
Spell that, Embajada.
Embajada, it's EMBAJADA.
Okay, Embajada Col.
COL Barbados.
Got you. So follow it there and you will see the whole slate of events. When the call is out for you to join the workshops, engage in every single thing. And it's going to be happening quickly, folks, because we're very close to really the explosion of the exchange between Barbados and Colombia indeed, and I can't wait to be a part of it all. Ambassador, as always, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank
and for
you
sharing,
so
being so open and ready to tell us.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Bowen.
You're very welcome. And Natalia Ramirez as well, thank you so much for joining with us. And keep the great work up and the planning of all of these activities.
Yes.
We rely on you.
Okay. Happy day. Okay.
Thank you so much for this invitation.
You're welcome. We'll take a break right here, folks. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
With 24 minutes to go to the hour of 7 o'clock, as you know, Barbados is very actively engaged in the STEM programs, science, technology, engineering and mathematics. So too is a Caribbean Science Foundation, and their interim executive director is with me now. He is Professor Cardinal Ward. Professor Ward, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again.
Good to have you indeed. It's so wonderful to have you because this is such an important area for young people to contemplate. Because coming up very soon, you'll be having a camp, but you'll also be having a challenge. But I want to start with, where are we now in your assessment as a country, as a Barbadian island, as it relates to STEM and our young people's capacity to be able to take on the challenges through science, technology, engineering, and mathematics? What's your assessment?
Well, we are climbing the ladder rapidly. For a while, I was worried about Barbados. It was lagging behind. This new government has put a lot of emphasis on STEM education, and we are assisting them and the entire region, actually, not just Barbados, with trying to make our students more adept at the STEM disciplines. There's the long-term goal of getting our young people to create companies that can bring in a lot more foreign exchange. These would be globally competitive companies based on STEM. So robotics, which is what we're going to talk about this morning, is an interdisciplinary subject. It uses a lot of physics, it uses some mechanics, engineering, it uses a lot of sensors and coding, computer programming as well. So it's a great vehicle to get our students involved in.
Some parents might think, but that sounds so niche to a specific target group only who like physics and science and robotics and the like. But that group is also important. So let's talk a little bit about, as you see it, how our education system really is advancing to be able to support the interest by our young people in those areas.
Right. The interest has to be developed early, as early as 5 years old. And Barbados has been introducing robotics into the schools now for quite a while, and that's a really, really good move. And because the STEM disciplines, it's like a pyramid. You have to have a good base, and you build on that base. If students get into the disciplines too late, then it's much more difficult to convince them to stay in STEM. But all our young people are curious, and if you get them at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, to be curious about how things work and about science in particular, they may find out that God gave them a talent that they didn't know they have, in the STEM disciplines, and they might stay in STEM, and then chances are something big and good could happen later. So what we do in the Barbados Junior Robotics Camp, one of the ones I'll talk about this morning, is we admit students as young as 10 years old. And we have 4 levels of robotics so that we can keep them engaged. They can come back year after year. And level 1, you don't have to know anything at all. You just come in. And so the kids come to us at 10, and many of them stay all the way through the program, all the way up to 18, going on 19 years old. But every year it has to be different. And so the first year we only had level 1, and the students and parents call. My kid wants to come back, so we had level 2, and then this kept going. We had level 3, now we're at level 4. But I think we're going to stop there.
I want to look at it. I'll get to the details about the upcoming camp and the challenge in just a moment. But I want to look at it from the Caribbean's perspective, though. As a region, how receptive have been the islands of the region to this initiative from the Caribbean Science Foundation in developing this characteristic in our young people?
Okay. If you look at it from the Caribbean Science Foundation perspective, we actually have 6 programs. The 2 programs we're going to talk about are the 6, and these 2 are specifically geared at Barbados. But our flagship program is called SPICE, S-P-I-S-E. That stands for Student Program for Innovation in Science and Engineering. And that's been going on since 2012. And the students come from over the Caribbean region, from Belize in the west, all to Guyana in the south. And we tend not to rely on the governments for funding because that's not a good model. But a lot of our students in that flagship program come from Jamaica. About, almost a quarter of the students in that program are Jamaican citizens. And it's very well known throughout the region. I'm hoping it gets even better known in Barbados. But the schools are the ones that we work with. We talk a lot to the guidance counselors and the principals in the schools throughout the region, and we work with them to get their students to apply. And that's also true for another of our programs. We have a program called the Caribbean STEM Olympiads. These are Olympic games in mathematics, of course, in computer coding, or computer programming if you prefer, and also in robotics. So the reception throughout the region has been great. We had last year about 266 students participating in the Olympiads. So, and they're getting larger and larger every year. So the reception has been good, but we try to work directly with the students, and we try to work in cooperation with the schools, and of course with the ministries of education, those that are interested in working with us. Mm-hmm. So I'm very, very optimistic about STEM in the region and its growth.
Engagement in STEM, what is crafting the mind to look up situations and create solutions, I suppose, or is that too naive in my view?
No, that's a very good situation, very good definition. We at the Caribbean Science Foundation, we have this philosophy, is that we must teach fundamentals to our students. If the students are well grounded in the fundamentals, whether it be in biology, we talked about physics, chemistry, mathematics, that goes a long way. We don't like it when students, study for a test and they memorize a lot of stuff and then they regurgitate it on the test and they get a high score. That's not learning. So we pride ourselves on critical, logical, and analytical thinking, and we try to get our students to practice that when they're very young, despite what the school system might be doing otherwise. Okay? So we tell our students, for instance, in SPICE, and we tell our instructors, if the student gets the right answer, but the logic is faulty, it is okay to give them 0. If they get the wrong answer, and it was just one stupid mistake in the last line, you're welcome to give them full credit.
Whoa. Because
we really want to reward the method and the approach to problem solving. So your definition is a good one. In STEM, you have to apply critical, logical, and analytical thinking, because if you really want to be an innovator, you're going to come back to the basics. You're going to come back to asking questions and using logic to figure out what works, what doesn't work. This cannot be the explanation for this phenomenon I see. And if you rely on the basics and the fundamentals of physics and biology and so on, you can rule out a lot of possibilities. And we would like our students to get more into research, because that's where new innovations are made. And with new innovations, if the ecosystem allows you to take that and monetize it by building a company, you can start to build globally competitive products. I know it's a long way from where some of our students are today, but we have to start training our students in this way. And that's one of the reasons, at least at the young ages, I like robotics, because it combines so many disciplines.
I like the way that you turn the education system on its head, literally on its head, to look again at how we score the children in their performance. Now, every child is seemingly born with this capacity to destroy, I use that word broadly, to pick apart things and to create new things or try to piece it back together. Instinctively, they do so. And then us, the adults, say, throw it away, it has no value. Stop doing that, I'll bring you something else that's whole. And so the child loses an interest in understanding that there's some parts of everything. And I think that's what you're talking about here, that parents need to look at the child, watch the child closely. You will see it. The child displays for you all of the characteristics that we're talking about here as we get ready to talk about the camp in a minute. And so when you see that child mashing up everything and then suddenly putting it back together, or asking questions about this or that, or wanting to know more about what piece would fit where, that's a good starting point to consider whether your child ought to be led into this particular course, because then you'll realize the benefit, the happiness the child has, and then it impacts the other traditional studies that they'll engage in as well. So I'll tell you what, Professor Ward, we'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk about the upcoming camp and the challenge and how we can all be a part of it in just a moment. We're right back after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Professor Cardinal Ward is the Interim Executive Director of the Caribbean Science Foundation. The Caribbean Science Foundation is designed for a reason, the way it is. And so coming up very soon as part of their programming is for Barbadians an opportunity for our children to be a part of a camp and then later on to be challenged in a particular way to create solutions. And so, Professor Ward, let's talk a little bit about the camp. Good to have you back, by the way. And let's talk about the camp, when it is, and for who it is, and where it is.
Yeah, the Barbados Junior Robotics Camp has been going on for several years now, I think since 2015. And the students who apply are between the ages of 10 and 18 years old. And anyone can apply. You don't need to have done robotics before. We start off at 10 years old with a set of kits that the students can use to put together, and we challenge them to be innovative. You can do what the manual says with the kits, but our coaches are trained to have them go further and use their own brains and their own innovation to modify the kits near the end of the program. And then, of course, everything the Caribbean Science Foundation does, we have a display to the public at the end. And that's going to be, I believe, on August 14th of this year. And those kids will be able to come and showcase their robots to the public. So we run the robotics camps, by the way, in collaboration with the UWI campus here in Barbados. So we're very grateful to them because we use their classrooms because we have a lot of students. We have up to 80 students last year, and this year it might be even larger. So we use their classrooms, and this is a joint project with UWI Barbados.
How can we register?
Everything we do is online. To find all of our projects, you go to Caribbean Science, one big long word, .org, CaribbeanScience.org, And if you click on projects, you will find a list of a drop-down menu with all of our projects there.
Right.
But to be specific, it's CaribbeanScience.org/Barbados-Junior-Robotics-Camp. It's called
Lots of
Barbados
dashes.
Junior Robotics.
Lots of
Camp.
dashes in
Or
there, but it's on your screen. Take a look at your screen, everybody.
BJRC.
Yeah, take a look at your screen. That's where you're going. And when you do that, then you begin to register because the camp is coming up. The camp starts in July. And oftentimes you're looking for something for the children to do during the summer holidays. Well, this is one activity you ought to consider. Indeed, and it doesn't matter your capacity. You can start at 10 years old up until 18 years old, and then we will help to adjust the thinking. And that's important because they just have an interest. Yeah. Start with an interest, and the Science Foundation will help you work it through. And so we're trying to build robots, whether it's a robot to I don't know, be like a tractor, I'm not sure, but whatever you want to do, you can do.
I see the youngsters, they take the kids and they're alligators, that can kind of crawl and walk.
Yes.
And at level 1, and then at level 4, which is the highest level, those kids are generally 15, 16 to 18 years old. The goal is to build a humanoid-like robot. So right now we have built the arms of the robots over the last 2 years, and one of the arms can pick up a bottle and pour water into a cup. It doesn't have any legs yet, so this year we're going to start having this new group work on the legs. So every year, the level 4 students contribute a little piece to this humanoid robot that we hope to have in 2 or 3 years from now.
And we're looking at the screen as well. Is this what you were just, look at this. This happens?
Okay. Yes, that's what, you can see the youngsters there.
Yes. This is brilliant. And they're having such fun, but they're also learning, engaging, and creating. And that's what we're talking about. We challenge our children to see the world differently from what we're accustomed to in the Caribbean, broaden our perspectives and become global citizens when we engage in the camp on STEM, really, looking at science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, robotics in this instance. And look at how he's able to operate the robot to navigate the different challenges. And so very soon, and the applause, of course, by many. But that's the camp. The camp happens in July. It ends on the 14th. It's like a month-long camp. It's in person on the compound of the University of the West Indies at Cave Hill. But you need to go online and register as quickly as possible so that you are sure that your passionate child, what you sometimes call your hard-ears child who's destroying everything, that child has a passion that you have not yet discovered, but we want to help that child discover that passion using this summer camp as an opportunity to do so. So that's one opportunity. Then there's the other opportunity, which is a little bit different. Let's talk about the other program that you have now.
Right. This other robotics program is a challenge. It's actually a competition. And the competition is for older students. Because it's going to involve use of power tools, we can't have 10-year-olds in there. But we made an exception and we went from 15 years old all the way up to 30 years old. So people who are, students who are in high school and students in the tertiary education system and students who, not necessarily students, but people who are in robotics clubs in Barbados, they can all apply to this. The challenge is to design and build a robot that can climb a coconut tree and harvest the coconuts and get them down to the ground safely.
Wow.
So it's a difficult challenge, but we broke it up into parts. All good engineers, they don't try to build the new vehicle, the new car immediately. They design it, right?
That's right.
And the design is really important, that you spend a lot of time looking at the design, doing the calculations of all the forces in all parts of it, what's the currents going through all of the electronic parts and so on, to make sure that it's not going to burn up, blow up, or break when it runs. And so what we did is we put the competition, we broke it up into 3 phases. Phase 1 is the design phase. We're asking the people of Barbados who are interested in doing robotics and building this robot to just give us a design, and you should get the design to us by the 16th of August this year. And that's an engineering design. It's not a pretty picture of what your robot looks like, because that's the artistic view. We want an engineering design. We want you to show us what parts you're going to use, where you're going to use them, how big they are, and you will have drawings, engineering drawings, top view, side view of the of what your robot might look like, and you can have a perspective view as well, and you can have as many pictures as you want of all the gears and the parts. That's fine. Plus a description of how your robot comes together and how it works, and that engineering design proposal has to come to us by the 16th of August. We will then make a selection of the top 6 designs. Those designs will get money to start building a prototype. Now, I said 3 phases. The second phase is not to go all the way to the end where you're going to cut the coconuts, but we just want you to, in the second phase, just to climb a pole. Can your robot climb a pole? Because if it cannot climb the pole, it can't cut the coconuts.
That's right.
So phase 2, take your design and build out the parts that will allow you to climb and come back down. And we have some time that you have to be able to climb and come back down. And then phase 3, which is coming much, much later, will be to build the whole thing. So we'll give money, at least we're trying to give at least $2,000 to those 6 teams that have the best engineering designs.
Wow, this is fantastic indeed. The challenge is for your robot to climb the coconut tree, cut the coconuts, bring the coconuts back down to the thing, and nothing is dismantled. And that's the challenge. So it starts with you building your design. You have until the 16th of August to get your designs into the Caribbean Science Foundation. And then from there we'll move to prototype and then to the final execution. And hopefully in time we'll see how it becomes a part of the lay of the land, the way we live. And that's the whole point. At the end of it all, how can we use science and technology to enhance our everyday experience and to assist in business and the way we do things and as well. And so it takes the brain, your brain, to be able to help us achieve all of that. And so if you're so passionate and so moved, talk to people. And this is really, you said, targeting 15 and up until about 30 years old, right?
Correct. And we have some information sessions.
Okay.
There's several information sessions where on a Zoom call. They're on Sundays, I believe. May 3rd is the first one at what time? At 7 p.m. Barbados time. And then the second one is on the 7th of June. But these are information sessions where people who are interested in doing this can come on, ask questions, get help, because we're willing to do some mentoring as well. We don't have a large staff. And help people to find partners as well. Right. So those information sessions are important. And when you go to the website again is like CaribbeanScience.org. Everything is at CaribbeanScience.org/BRIC, BRIC, as in Barbados, Robotics, Innovation, Challenge. And you'll find everything there, application forms, registration forms, everything, as well as these information sessions that I just mentioned. That's so
important. That's really important. So as soon as you can, just go to the website, look at the screen right now, you'll see, you register, you attend your monthly BRIC information sessions, and you submit your engineering design proposal by the 16th. Those sessions are on the 3rd of May, 7th of June, 5th July, 2nd of August, all beginning at 7. All of your information for logging in on Zoom is right there. You can screenshot this if you care to, or watch the show yet again on YouTube or Facebook, or you can scan the code, the QR code you see right there, and you can get it right there on your device indeed. And so this is all in partnership with the Abed Foundation, but this is building a community of innovators who see a challenge, who accept the challenge, who design around that challenge, and then who create. And so the challenge is to build a robot which can climb a coconut tree, cut a bunch of coconuts, and come back to Earth and deliver the produce without dismantling. And that's a challenge we rarely accept, ladies and gentlemen. You can do so because what you win is attractive enough. But all those details are on this website, CaribbeanScience.org. And I encourage all of you not just to register for the camp alone, your children, but to take up the challenge in the BRIC. And I wish you much success. Professor Ward, as always, good talking to you. It's going to be another phenomenal year. We can't wait to hear the results and to see the outcomes and all of the rest of it indeed. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Yes, I do too, waiting to see the results. And please invite me back because there are 2 more programs this summer that I'd like to talk about. They're on the website also. One is called the Caribbean STEM Summit and the other one is a computer programming exercise workshops called the Caribbean Computer Coding Workshops. So
we'll follow with you. We'll definitely follow.
Hopefully
Thank
we'll
you
see
so
each
very
other
much
soon
indeed for
again.
joining us. That's Professor Cardinal Ward, the Interim Executive Director of the Caribbean Science Foundation, challenging us and our young people to start thinking differently, but engage with other people who are thinking perhaps just like you, and with whom you can collaborate to make the difference using the STEM approach. Morning Barbados, it's a break right here. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's take a look at the news now. The teachers in Barbados will be honored through a national award initiative. It's being spearheaded by the government. This announcement was made by Minister of Education Transformation, Chad Blackman. He says it's the government's way of recognizing and celebrating outstanding educators for their hard work and commitment to the island's children, and gave the assurance that the initiative will be rolled out later this year. Minister Blackman was delivering remarks at the opening of the Barbados Union of Teachers' 52nd Annual General Conference held under the theme, "To Thrive, Not Just Survive, Ending the Burnout Culture."
Of course, there were some other priorities that we had to treat to first, but the time has certainly come for our teachers in our country to be awarded. Yes, I know you have your own internal mechanism, but I'm talking on a national level, certainly by government, working with you as a partner, of course, to be able to say to our teachers, thank you for your hard work. And of course, the necessary criteria, etc., will be set up.
The minister also commended the union for continuing to be a partner in education while representing the interests of its teachers incredibly well.
There are a number of challenges that we've had throughout the years, but equally, there are a number of opportunities that we've had throughout the years. And equally, in being able to treat to these opportunities and challenges alike, the BUT has been able to not just articulate the voice of teachers in Barbados, but to also help us to be able to create in a new landscape, how do we ensure that the teaching profession continues to be one that is fit for purpose and to be able to deliver high quality education for our country's children.
And at the conference, the BUT gave notice that it will not be supporting the mandatory requirement for all teachers to hold professional license. BUT President Rudy Lovell made that position clear while highlighting several issues that teachers continue to face and the wins they have accomplished over the past year. Anesta Henry has the story.
Mr. Lovell has made it known to everyone attending the conference, including Minister of Education Transformation Chad Blackman, that the BUT opposes the introduction of teacher licensing. The proposed licensing was announced by Minister Blackman while delivering a ministerial statement in August last year. Then he stated that by September 2027, a teaching licensing system will be introduced to raise professional standards and ensure greater responsibility within the education sector. Mr. Lovell is, however, contending that the requirements for entry into the profession are already outlined in the 2016 Public Service Qualifications Order.
Introducing licensing will create unnecessary bureaucracy without improving teacher quality or student outcomes. Instead, the BUT advocates for continuous professional development, retooling, and retraining.
Meanwhile, Mr. Lovell is urging all members to adopt the Caribbean Union of Teachers Code of Ethics to elevate and strengthen the profession. He also spoke to pressing issues that continue to affect teachers. These include violence in schools, which continues to cast a shadow over the education system, creating fear among educators and parents alike.
The impact on teachers has been significant, both physically and psychologically. Declining morale has led some to consider early retirement or career changes. The BUT therefore reiterates its call for urgent protective measures to ensure schools remain safe environments for both students and staff.
One of the biggest gains for teachers this year is winning the battle to have a term's vacation reinstated to its pre-2014 state. Mr. Lovell says the BUT fought that battle and is thankful to Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley and her team for returning to teachers what was taken from them.
We acknowledge the ministry's positive strides in several areas, including increased teacher training, the implementation of an inclusive education policy, expanded special needs support, strengthened literacy and numeracy programs, provision of reading kits, the hiring of education officers, the appointment of over 350 teachers, improved responses to safety and health concerns, and the return to the normal academic calendar.
And the union is also welcoming the announcement by Minister Blackman regarding the provision of breakfast for every primary school child. But while supporting the initiative, Mr. Lovell says the union wants several operational details clarified to ensure success. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
After years of uncertainty regarding the state of their road and the future of their homes, residents of Reesland, Brittonshill, St. Michael will soon be getting some answers, as the Ministry of Transport and Works is urgently reviewing the situation and seeking a solution. The reassurance from Minister of State in the Ministry of Transport and Works, Dr. Rommel Springer, as he toured the area recently with Minister of Transport and Works and Senior Minister of Infrastructure, Kirk Humphrey, and a team from the MTW.
This is one of the roads that we really have to look at the resilience of the road with the intention of using some of the best practices that are better suited for purpose. For example, this road is leaning, and this is not common amongst roads in the south of the island. It's something that we will see very often in the Scotland district. And we have over the years come up with techniques to address these types of problems when we see them, and we are going to have to assess and look to engineer a similar solution for this particular problem. We are familiar with the road, we are working on a solution for the road. There are houses here in this community that may be impacted because of the slippage in this road, and these are things that we are looking at in terms of how we're going to design a solution.
Minister Humphrey says he's been informed that a report had been previously done and he will be working to rectify the problem soonest.
I've read the social impact assessment in terms of the houses that were scheduled to be moved. At the time, they'd identified 4 houses or 5 that needed to be moved. I know that we were working with the Ministry of Housing to be able to effectively relocate the persons. So that's going to be an urgent conversation for me. Luckily, I'm also the Senior Minister for Infrastructure, so I meet with the Minister of Housing fairly often, and to prioritize the moving of the houses if necessary, or even if temporarily, while we come up with a solution for the road. So if the question were asked how soon, the answer is no.
Let's go to sports now. Barbados Pride will resume this morning on day 3 of the first round of the CWI first last match against host Jamaica Scorpions, leading by 73 runs at Chedwin Park. The Scorpions are on 275 for 6 in their first innings, chasing 348 scored by the Pride. Carlos Brown has led the hosts with 61, while Jomel Warrican has been the pick of the Pride's bowling attack so far with 2 for 40. Here are yesterday's highlights.
John Campbell down the pitch, and that one is gone out of here. John Campbell really just driving at it, peeled off the outside half, but it went all the way over backward point for 6. Well, that was slashed forward of the man at backward point. That was a bad ball. And John Campbell hits out towards Medan. That's careless dismissal.
This one driven pleasantly through that cover region. All along the carpet. Typical Kurt Mackenzie Jr. shot. Came on the front foot and didn't try to overhit it. Just picked the gap to perfection. Top shot from Kurt Mackenzie Jr. Sat up. This one lofted. And in fact, it goes all the way over long off for 6. And there you go. Outer portion of the bat goes down to that third man region. And it gets across the line as well for 4.
To see him pick up a few more singles.
A load appeal.
There you
Must
go.
be close. Gone. And he starts with a delivery. Handling down the leg side. And it could be a half century for Carlos Brown. It is. Oh, good delivery to start. And it's gone. Oh, close call.
Given.
That game is being played in Jamaica. It resumes this morning at 11. Let's go to Antigua now, where Trinidad and Tobago Red Force are leading Leeward Islands Hurricanes by 242 runs at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. The Leewards 138, Trinidad and Tobago 380 for 5, with Amir Jangu 133 not out. In Guyana, the Guyana Harper Eagles are trailing Windward Islands Volcanoes by 29 runs at the Vivian Richards Stadium. The scores there: Windward's 286, Guyana 257 for 9. And that's our look at news and sports. Morning Barbados breaks here. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 15 minutes now after 7 o'clock. Boy, are we still basking in the glow of what Carifta did for Barbados. And I'm sure the athletes feel the very same way, because they've had, over the Easter weekend, some outstanding performances. Barbados bring back a huge medal haul indeed, and to all we say congratulations. But we had one little man who didn't run a single thing other than his mouth, just teasing, in Anmar Goodrich Boyce, who's of the CBC, who was there for us. He brought us all of the information we needed to know so that we brought to you the results as we saw them unfold as well. Anmar, good morning to you, young man.
Yeah, good morning to you, Pearson, and good morning to all of Barbados and our entire Mornin Barbados crew. How are you?
Thank you for joining me. I am doing well, thank you for asking. How was it for you, Carifta?
Yeah, Grenada was fantastic. It's one of the islands, as you know, in the Caribbean. And the event actually was brilliant. We saw over the Easter weekend some fantastic performances, not only from Barbadian athletes, but from athletes throughout the Caribbean. The likes of Michaelai Davis, Shania Douglas, Ashton Simmons of Barbados, Kamal Armstrong of Barbados. The entire region, in my opinion, did really well. And I think the future of athletics in the Caribbean is on the right trajectory based on the performances that we've seen. We had a couple of press conferences over the Easter weekend, at least two, where the topic was about pushing forward the games and making sure that the games are alive and well. And I can definitely say that that's the mood throughout the region.
Mm-hmm. What did you hear from the athletes in terms of not just accommodation, but the facilities and their comfort on the nights and the days of the games?
Yeah, well, the Karani James Stadium, if we start there, is one of the most modern facilities in the Caribbean. There's a track that was recently relayed. So in terms of the facilities there, I think the athletes, based on my conversations with them, they enjoyed running on the track. Obviously, there's also a training facility there, the warm-up track, that was good as well. So overall, the only concerns that I heard from the Barbadian athletes is that it was a bit warm. Conditions a bit, but apart from something that we're used to Barbados.
Well, it's life in the Caribbean for sure. And so in terms of access from and a movement from location where they were staying to the stadium, was there any problem at all? Did anybody complain about delays and stuff?
Well, I would say no. There weren't actually much delays. There's a lot, just like Barbados, around peak times. There's a steady flow of traffic in and around the stadium, city as well. But myself and our videographer, Martin Phillips, we actually traversed from the Radisson, where the Barbados team was staying, to the Karani James Stadium. And that journey was about 20 to 25 minutes. And I mean, it was around 10:30 on the Thursday before Good Friday. And yeah, the traffic was pretty good. But going in the opposition to the city, the traffic was a bit horrible in my opinion, bumper to bumper. But I think that's the entire Caribbean right now in terms of the traffic situation.
Let's hear some conversations that were said at the games now. When athletes meet and huddle, they say certain things. So any particular anecdote that you might want to share that was interesting from listening to the athletes as they took on the day's challenges?
Yeah, well, for me, obviously, you know, our focus was on the Barbadian athletes, and I got the sense that, you know, they wanted to come to the Carifta Games and compete. So my takeaway, especially the 800-meter final for the under-20 girls, and we saw this on television, a conversation between the two Barbadians in Ashley Simmons and Dania Skeet. And Ashley Simmons coming into the race was the favorite. And I mean, I said I would like to be a fly on the wall in terms of the conversation that they had, because if you look at the race and the race strategy, these are two young ladies who run against each other at BSAP. And, you know, to take it to the region, you know, at the highest level for them right now, I think was absolutely amazing. I did get a bit of a sense in terms of how the coaching staff of the Barbados team wanted to encourage the athletes. I didn't really get to hear exactly those integrate conversations, but I got the sense from, you know, Fish Let's Profit that this was a team who came to not only compete, but to perform and do the country well.
Was there any result that surprised you by the Barbados athletes at all? Let's start with them and then let's go regionally as well. Was there any result that surprised you?
I would say yes and no. Obviously, in my opinion, the stand-up performance had to be Ashley Simmons winning the 800-meter and then winning the 1500-meter first and then coming back to win the 800-meter. Now, she defeated the Jamaicans in the 1500-meter and the Jamaicans. So I said that the 800-meter, after she won gold in the 1500, that was going to be the heart of the two races. And, you know, Ashley was very determined to come back and finish off in grand style. And she did that. I was happy too for Dania Skeet getting this. It was another rift again. It was her third. And I knew that she really wanted the medal. She went up there, and her race strategy in that same 800-meter was absolutely brilliant. You know, kudos to Kamal Armstrong. Now, his story is actually remarkable. Last year, he was a late addition to the games, didn't even make the qualifying standard, and then this year, he's not only a Carifta medalist, but he's a Carifta bronze medalist. I think that was excellent as well. The likes of Jelino Hamlet. Now, we can't speak about the performances of the Barbadian athletes without mentioning the McIntyres. Now, Layla McIntyre last year, she opted to go to swimming. And, you know, we saw an interview with McIntyre, who was very emotional because she felt like, you know, she had to choose between two disciplines in terms of swimming and then athletics. And, you know, she was torn up in the interview when she spoke with us because she said that she felt like she let down one of her disciplines and the whole. And to come and to get a silver medal in her first outing at the Carifta Games, I thought that was a very tremendous performance. And then her brother came the next day and really destroyed the field in the 5,000. And, you know, we gave him the nickname Ear Loop. And it spoke to the performance that he produced for Barbados. So I think all in all, the performances of our team were really good. 17 medals. You would think a team of 63. I thought, in my opinion, I didn't say it, I was saying it very quietly, that the officials at the Athletics Association of Barbados, the aim perhaps was 20 medals. I don't have an insight into what those backroom conversations would have been like. But if I know the likes of a Noah Lynch, if I know Renee Lane, if I know Dante Harvey, you know, Althea Belgrave, and the hierarchy of the Athletics Association, the coaches, I thought that would have been the aim. And, you know, for the country to get 17 medals, I thought it was a pretty okay performance, pretty decent performance in my opinion.
Talk to me about that 4x4 relay when Barbados won. Where were you, first of all, and what was going through your body as you saw that strategy unfolding right through to the finish line?
So actually, and this is a story that absolutely no one knows, I'll reveal it here for the first time on Mornin Barbados. So we were stood, I was trackside while the 4x400 meter, obviously the final race of Carifta was going on. And just as the boys came out, there was a bit of a lull in between. For some reason, the guys were out there stood for about 5 to 6 minutes before the race actually started. And I had my cell phone next to me, and I realized that I was getting a call from Brian Holder, who was the relay coach of the national team. And I'm like, at this moment, why is Brian calling my phone? And I looked up, should I answer this? Should I not answer this? But I answered the phone, and Ryan was telling me, go to tell Aiden Moore he has to get off the curve. So I am a journalist, and you're not really allowed to talk to the athletes, but I am a Barbadian first.
Yes.
You know, so I am trying to work out in my mind. Now, I'm the closest person to Aiden Moore who's standing, getting ready to run the second leg. I need to get this message over to Aiden so Barbados can deliver. So I'm easing towards the track to make sure that nobody's seeing what I'm doing. And I scream to Aiden, Brian says to get off the curve. He didn't hear me at first. But he looked around and said, Aiden, Brian says to get off the curve. Now, you can imagine this, Pearson. Now, there are thousands of people in the stands, so I have to make sure that my message is loud enough for Aiden to actually get the message. And he ran an excellent second leg, excellent second leg he ran. And I think, we talk about the ankle leg in Shamari Greenwich-Lewis, but I think the leg that changed that relay was the second leg ran by Aiden Moore. No, absolutely brilliant. Jakai Brewster was good as well. The first leg was also good, but Shamari Greenwich-Lewis, the anchor man, around the back stretch with about 150, 140 meters to go, he just walked past the Jamaican athlete like he wasn't even there, and nobody, I remember the commentator, these were the words from the commentator, Barbados moving with alacrity. There we see it. Barbados moving with alacrity. Jamaica can't respond. The gap widens, and I am jumping up for joy after absolutely fantastic. And then, I look at the time, 3 minutes and 5, not only a Barbados record, but a Carifta record. You had to be there. I've been privileged to witness some of the greatest moments in sports, having been to the Tokyo Olympics, having been to the Paris 2024 Olympics. But I mean, if I have to be honest, I also was there in Jamaica when the Jamaican under-20 girls, Serena Cole, Brianna Liston, and the Clayton twins, when they ran a world record at Carifta. But for me, in my opinion, this stands out as my most memorable moment today.
Yeah, we were all jumping in our stands, in our houses with you indeed, and so it was a tremendous electric moment indeed. Let's look at some of the regional athletes now. Are there any standouts that you think, and we always look to Jamaica, I don't know why, alone, but are there any standout athletes that you think has the potential to represent this region so well at the Olympics?
Well, that's an easy question. And the first athlete that comes to my mind, Pearson, is the Austin City Award winner, Shania Douglas. Now, this is a young lady who the entire region was tracking and very excited that she was actually coming to Carifta. Now, the week before Carifta at the Issa Grayson Boys and Girls Kennedy's Champs, what we know as Champs in Jamaica, this young lady ran not a junior world lead, but a senior world lead, 10.98 seconds over 100 meters. And if you put it into context, that is such a quick time in terms of female sprinting, especially at the 100 meters. And, the fact that she was coming to the Carifta Games, they excited everyone. There we can see now on our screen, this is Douglas winning the 200 meter at the Carifta Games. And I think her time was 22.11, another world lead and a record. So I think this is a young lady who has tremendous potential and talent. And once she remains healthy and fit, I think she is the newest sprinting sensation, not only in Jamaica, but around the world. And I was saying to my colleagues that every year at the Carifta Games, Jamaica excites us. I remember at home, they brought Brianna Liston, they brought the Clayton twins, they brought Tiana Lee, Terry Long, they brought Sabrina Dockery. There's a host of names that the Jamaicans bring every single Carifta in terms of female sprinting. And I think Shania Douglas is just the latest. But on the Barbadian point of view, we had a young man who was 13 years old competing at the Carifta Games by the name of Janino Hamlet. And he is another standout athlete, in my opinion. And not being biased, but I mean, this is a young man at 13 years old who started in his first Carifta Games, his first race, the 400 meters for under 17 boys. And if you saw the passion on this young man, he's supposed to be here to have fun at 13 years old. There's not big expectations, in my opinion, for him. But he was absolutely devastated. And I mean, if if you think of the passion for sports, it is something that, in terms of the passion, let me make this absolutely clear. In terms of the passion, I was happy to see, because it meant that, he cared, he wants to do well, he wants to perform on the highest level. And, he was 4th or 5th in the under-17 boys 200 meter, and even to make the final is an achievement for this young man at 13 years old. And then he came back and anchored his team to a bronze medal. He might just be the future of athletics in Barbados, Jelena Hamlet. At 13 years old, with outstanding things that he's done at the BSAT level. And I mean, he has 2 more years at the under-17 level. And I mean, everybody was wowing at Hamlet's performance. And I mean, Barbados put in a bid we took a proposal, which will be considered. Of course, we know this is subject to, our name in Waterford being completed. We heard the minister, he spoke with him at length at the Carifta Games as well. 2028, we're hoping that the games could come to Barbados, and that perhaps could be his Carifta Games that, he takes everything.
Yeah, we keep an eye on him for sure. While you're talking about some outstanding performances, just the other day, Goot Goot smashed the legendary Usain Bolt's record. Talk to me about that and what do you think that means for the excitement around the Olympic Games upcoming?
Yeah, the Olympic Games obviously slated for 2028, but you see a young man who's 18 years old, an Australian, who's 18 years old, running 19.67. Now, he's far Usain Bolt at 18 years old, and that's tremendous. But you have to put it into context as well. Now, I always measure athletics based on consistency, and in my opinion, this is why Usain Bolt is the greatest athlete we've ever seen. Now, Bolt in his junior years wasn't as dominant, but as he progressed through to his senior years, he dominated at every single Olympic Games that he went to. Beijing 2008, London 2012, Rio 2016. And for me, it is about consistency now. And it's about how you take care of the body and how you train. And I think that will be all important for Goot Goot. But the 19.67 is a fantastic time. And, we have to look out to see what more will come from him in terms of athletics. It'll be interesting to see whether he goes to the Commonwealth Games to compete. But 19.67 is a time that, everyone is talking about.
Yeah, it was tremendous indeed. Well, Amar, you were tremendous as well. We want to thank you so much for joining us. You were there for us at the beginning of the games, the Carifta Games. You're back here with us at the end of the games. You were there with us right throughout the games, filing reports everywhere you've been and engaging with the different people as well. So we thank you for the great work you've done for the CBC and bringing to us the stories behind the games and the stories up front of the games as well. Thank you, Anmar. All the best to you.
Thank you, Pearson. And just one more before I go, I just want to let the Barbadian public know that I will be producing an hour-long documentary on the Barbados story of the Carifta Games for 2026 in this place. Also, that is something that the entire country can look out for. Shot by my videographer, Mornin Phillips, and we'll be editing it and producing it throughout this week. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish it for the end of this week or early next week. But Barbados, you can look out for the story of Barbados at the Carifta Games for 2026. So it's a behind-the-scenes feature, which will be going in terms of in-depth to give you those sights and scenes that you did not particularly see on television.
All right. Can't wait to watch it, indeed. Well done, Anmar. We'll see you soon. Take care, buddy.
Thank you, Pearson.
You're welcome.
I'll go now and get ready for work.
Please, hurry up and get here on time. Just kidding you. That's my boy. Thank you, Anmar. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, who was on behalf of CBC in Grenada for the recently held Carifta Games, where Barbados did so very well indeed. And we're very proud of his being able to bring it to us in the way that it has done so very competently. Morning Barbados breaks right here. When we come back, we meet Mr. Executive.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
6 months of preparation by 63 young men from 14 schools all culminate in the 2026 Mr. Executive Challenge. At the end of the night, Jaden Jordan was crowned Mr. Executive, scoring 237 points at the Senior Boys Business Pageant, which included 5 finalists. The Alexandra School student was succinct with his business pitch, showcased stage presence, and impressed with his public speaking. He also captured a number of the prizes, including Top Saver and Best Business Pitch. Founder of the challenge, Winston Cumberbatch, says the varied partnerships formed over the 6 years of the show have helped to shape the lives of over 400 of the island's young men.
Your investment in these young men is truly shaping the future of our nation. To our principals, teachers, parents, facilitators, patrons, and of course our students, your commitment has contributed to the positive development of nearly 400 young men across our country over the years. Now this is the fifth year, 2023, 24, 25, 26, now 4th year at the inter-school, and then there were 2 years at St. Leonard's. So that's 6 years in all since we started. And I can tell you the number of young men we've impacted have been over 400 or so.
Minister of Education Transformation Chad Blackman says the Mr. Executive Challenge goes to the very core of transformation as it prepares young men for the world ahead.
If we are to prepare these young men for the world beyond school, it will require them to have, as we say in the Ministry of Education, the values of SAVE. And what do I mean? The skills, the attitude, the values, and excellence, which will help them to navigate life as they go on. And what are some of the benefits of this? If Barbados is to continue to be a competitive country, not just within CARICOM and Latin America, but across the world, our young men, and in particular, must be able to navigate the mode of business. But business doesn't only mean being able to land a deal or to negotiate. It means also having the skill set to be able to be confident and to deliver your ideas through excellence, engaging with your peers in the country and beyond.
Second place was Kimani Maynard from Queen's College, while third place was captured by Jaden Bakker of the Christchurch Foundation School. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Thank you, Rachel. For those of you who missed it, that was a capsule of what happened on Sunday gone. So the dust has settled. Now you know who is Mr. Executive. But you know, the man behind Mr. Executive, the producer of it, is Winston Cumberbatch. He's with me again. And then we'll get around to the winners in just a moment. But here we go. Another successful year.
Another one.
Boy. Were you surprised by the response, the number of people who showed up?
Well, I knew this year that we would have had greater patronage. But I'll tell you the truth, when I did get there and I saw the crowds, I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't expect it to be that full. Yeah. But it was impressive. And it kind of allowed us to recognize that Barbadians are getting to know, get these stories. They understand what Mr. Executive is about. And the crowd support, not just the attendance, but the support throughout was thoroughly amazing. In fact, it was high fever pitch from the very first right down to the end. Almost a foot break.
And so high fever, it was very close. As a matter of fact, the results, which we'll talk about in a minute. So here we are now. Again, you have another challenge because you have to better next year what you've done this year. Have you given thought yet to what next year could possibly look like?
Well, yeah, every year I'm always thinking about Mr. Executive. And I think what we have achieved this year is a good way to go into the next year because I have more now to show, to indicate what this could do for the young men in our schools. I think too that the fact that these guys were so close, all their performances were just on par. And the difference you'll probably share the points, I don't know, but the difference were just like single digit differences right through. So when Barbadians begin to recognize that this is really truly changing lives, I believe that we can get more persons, for example, school administrations, persons in youth development, in the various organizations that support us, pushing more, because, like I say, these are average young men here. And in our schools, there are others who sit in the same classrooms, doing the same kind of things. And with the kind of exposure that this offers, I'm telling you, a lot more young men can be reached and lives change.
I'm absolutely convinced, having been a part of it myself, not competing, but being there to witness it indeed. And so Jaden Jordan of the Alexandra School, listen, thanks for representing the North very, very well.
For
Jaden,
sure.
First of all, you know, I'm sorry, but I had to say it. As a North boy, I had to say it. And so Jaden, what changes have you seen in yourself, having completed now this program?
Definitely my confidence. It have grown tremendously over the competition. Also my public speaking skills, it really got beyond, it has gone beyond where I probably thought it would have had gone. As you probably see my CEO pitch, where I won best CEO pitch, that hearing that really touched me, knowing that I probably wasn't the kind of person before to do that sort of thing. So hearing that I had the best CEO pitch really touched me, and it showed me that I can do things better than I probably think.
And I'm glad your mind is beginning to shift where that's concerned. But there you were on the stage now, right? It's coming on to results time. Mr. Cumberbatch is at the microphone, and everybody, Kimani's calling, wow, pressure moment now. And you're hearing other names called. You hear yours. And what are you thinking at that point?
At that point, Mr. was taking long. I know he would take long because at the graduation, he did it on purpose also.
Yes.
So I told myself, Lord, it's time. And it was there waiting. And I just told myself, please don't hear my name yet. Please don't hear my name yet. And I could hear everybody in the crowd, my family, just shouting, hear my brother holler for Jaden. And then when it came on the third, you know me and back have the same name.
Right,
and I hear Jaden, I was like, and I hear back at him, so okay.
That's not you.
And when I got on the last two, I just told myself, no matter what happened here, I proud because top 3, top 2 is a great feeling. And then here Kimani, and I just had to hold back my tears.
But because you were targeting Kimani here now, okay, it was down to just the two of you.
Yeah.
And your tears flowed? Did the tears flow? Okay.
Yes, they did. If you watch back the video, you can see my head up in the air.
Oh, you were trying to keep it all
Yeah,
back
try to keep it back inside, but they were there.
They were there.
Yeah.
So now that you are Mr. Executive, has it sunk into you yet, one, and having to carry not just the sash and the trophy, the responsibility of being Mr. Executive, what does it all mean to you?
In terms of it sinking in, not really. On the day it was there because my family, my mom, especially my dad, and having Mr. Hines there behind me through it all. On the day it really sank in, especially when I got home and I was like, whoa, it's here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can say it sank in, but not as much. I'm still waiting till Tuesday when school start. I got a lot of support. Yeah, I got a lot of support from the school so far. And in terms of what to come from Mr. Executive, I'm really looking forward for it because it's a lot to come.
Yeah.
And I really, as I keep telling Mr. Vincent, I'm here no matter what for the competition, and I'm really looking forward to what really to come more in the competition and throughout the year of me winning.
Your commitment is outstanding. I want to relive with everybody the moment your name was called. Let's take a look together, everybody.
Presenting to this year's winner of the 2026 Mr. Executive Challenge Finals, Mr. Executive 2026 Jaden Jordan. He's going to get a lot of stuff. He can't handle them all, but some of them will be rest, but at least they be there. He has the challenge shield. He has the top trophy. He has a tablet from Flo. He has that lovely purple box. A bag of goodies. $1,000. Cash prize. $1,000 scholarship. You see what he's going to get? And so, let's make sure that you get.
You have that video? All right, good. So you have something to share with your children later on into this coming. Kimani, but you were there too. And like Jaden, your heart was pounding, no doubt, thinking, is it me? Could it be me? I hope it's me. All of that, right?
Yes.
So talk to me about, in the competition, all evening long, what did you do that you were confident that you would make it into the top 3 and up to the top 2 at least?
Well, the preparation, I knew I made the right preparation. I was practicing almost every day because I know in my head I was like, I gotta win. So when I got there, I was like, I know the preparation I made. I just be calm. I don't want to be stressed about the situation because when you stress, you can forget certain things. So throughout the whole competition, I was like, I feel I can either come talk to you or what because everybody doing real good.
Yes.
So I was like, when the names were getting called, I was like, I hope my name don't get called because if you watch the video, my head was down every time. And when he called 5th, I was like, cool. 4th, I was like, I was like, I made top 3. Everybody do so good. And then he called Jaden's name. I was like, wow. And when he called 2nd, I was like, I didn't cry and say it, but I cried after.
You cried after?
Yeah, because it's not from a case that I didn't come first, I cried, but I cried because I came 2nd for the first time doing it as the youngest in competition. Wow. So just that there was really a blessing. So, yeah.
That's fantastic to hear, indeed. And so, I understand you sang.
No, I play violin.
Oh, you play? Oh, you did subjects with your mouth. You play the violin.
Yeah.
And so, why did you do that?
Because I'm a violinist.
But why did you do that?
Because, to me, I didn't really want to hire anybody and be like, oh, I didn't want this person to do it. Because I was like, I just want to be original. So if I play the violin myself, I'd be like, I feel like I get more points than getting it, right? But I play violin, I play when these songs that I actually liked in terms of like playing perfect and stuff like that. So once I play that song, and even when I step on stage with violin, everybody was bursting out. I was like, I gotta play good. So that's how I play violin.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
What does being a part of Mr. Executive mean to you? Because you cried. And so, I'm sorry, folks. His friends are probably saying, you're crazy. I've noticed you, right? Messing up your credit. But nonetheless, what does it really, really mean at the end of it all that you've done this?
It means a lot. Because I could really tell myself, okay, from when I started this program, because originally I was not able, I didn't want to do this here because it was like too much of my time. But I could say from the beginning until now, I've really grown as a young gentleman, and the different segments that Mr. Kamabats did, it was like the building blocks of life. So like I would really advise people that to join the program because it could really change your life for real.
Kimani represented the Queen's College, indeed. But from Christchurch Foundation came the other Jaden, this is Backer. Now Backer, your name got called a little too soon, right? A little too soon. You had your eyes on the prize.
Yes, I did.
So then when you heard your name called and you were now runner-up number 2, second runner-up, were you disappointed?
Of course, of course.
Tell me why.
Yes, because I came out and I believe that I did my best. However, being called for third, I was a tad bit disappointed. However, that feeling was short-lived because I saw the journey that I came and I looked at the lessons that I learned and the experiences that I gained, and I believe that based on those things alone, I am a winner. So I don't feel too bad about it.
At all,
yes,
at all. You've done tremendously well. So when you head back to school, you're going back to school, right?
I don't think so unless it's with the exams.
Okay, so
yes.
you're pretty much, that was your last year?
No, I am in lower 6. I mean for next term, we are not required to go back to school.
Oh.
We are on study leave all now.
Why did that happen while I was at school? Why didn't that happen? So, okay, but who was the first person outside of the night who you spoke with, who you shared the news with?
Who I shared the news with? I believe it was more a case where people were contacting me because most persons saw it on IG and they were like, congrats Jaden, you did so well. And yeah, those were very encouraging. So people more so contacted me than I contacted
School
them.
friends included?
Yes, please.
All right. So this is brilliant. What did you talk about in your CEO pitch?
I was the CEO of CIBC, and I talked about strategies that I could use to increase our image and profitability. So I said that I would train the employees to treat customers better, and I would also expand the loans so that entrepreneurs could have better access to it.
Well done. Customer service, key
yes,
to everything.
Please.
Tell you what, folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll hear what Kimani and Jaden also did with their CEO pitches in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Schooled, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Fellow employees, first, I want to say that you are the most professional, dynamic, and talented group of persons I have ever had the pleasure of working with. So keep some noise for yourselves. Today is...
Jaden, that's you. That was you doing you. and doing you beyond what you thought you could do.
Yes.
And what were you talking about?
So I decided I had to bring my love for cricket into my CEO pitch. So what I did, I created a brand new GS Sports where we created cricket spikes. So I did these spikes, as I said, in my CEO pitch, they're comfortable, they're durable, and built for performance.
All right. Just as you are built for performance.
Yes, please.
Do we have the one for Kimani? Because I don't want the time to get away without us showing. Michael, it might have mine. We may have yours. But you came in the final with 237 points. Kimani had 7 less than he did. You came in with 230. And would you believe it, ladies and gentlemen, Jaden, the other backer, he came with 228. It was that close. That close indeed. And that's because you're all equally good and good enough to be an executive. But there's only one winner. And Jordan got the winning this time around, but it could have been you, Kimani. And what did you talk about again in your pitch?
I really transitioned from purely essence, which is supposed to be like a soap business, into purely rooted, which is now a hair business. So I just talked about what it would do, the different products that we would make, as well as what we would do to bring the business out, and the financials, and what the plans to going forward to make the business rise.
And that means research and checking and rechecking so that you don't go and tell your audience a lie.
Yeah.
Because you're moving your workers, that's the scenario, into a position where they're buying in on your particular strategic plan.
Yeah.
The date. Backer, how was the date?
Awesome. That was awesome.
What about it was awesome?
The dance, that was heavily. And then the lanes that we put in between, that was also beautiful. Yes, I really enjoyed the date.
That is wonderful. Kimani, what about you?
It was fun and interesting because we practice, as you said, but we try to make it more natural instead of making it feel robotic. So just making it lines on the spot to make it a little funny for the crowd. That's what really was. That what made it fun. And then obviously me playing the violin was
it the piece of the cake?
Yeah.
Oh boy, it was nice. And Jaden?
The date was, I would say, amazing. It went better than I thought. Before the finals, we had a lot of preparation on the date, and I was actually scared. The only segment I was scared for, because at grand rehearsals the date really didn't went well, and it did not. And I was like, I really hope this goes well tonight. And I just told myself, all right, just get comfortable, go through the rest of the segments, don't think about it, get comfortable and execute. So that's exactly what we did. And we had a script for the date, but yes, we did follow the script, but most of the date, what people might not believe or know, was not on the script.
Wow.
So if you watch back the date, you will not believe that half of what we thought about was really not on the script.
So you see, you guys can do this. You guys can do this. And I'm so proud of all of you. And so, Mr. Cumberbatch, we raised executives, we're raising gentlemen as well.
That's right.
And so now the challenge for 2029, well, 29, we're getting ready.
2027.
Thank you, 20 next year, in other words, is on. And by when should we let you know that we have another core of young men to participate?
Well, we start circulating information as early as September, right? So the schools are shared all the information, the requirements, the number of students eligible, and we try to encourage them to start planning from early. Right. So the cycle just comes on pretty quickly. Yeah. What I want to appeal, however, though, is for greater in-house support, right? I know that there are persons that we have assigned as a coordinator, but the support from other staff, I think, needs some improvement, right? More rallying around the group, and that is something I'm looking forward to. But I want to give a shout out right now to Azari, Deterville, and Elias Duncan, who did not make it into the top 3, but they could easily have been here as well because the points were that close. These guys did a wonderful job as well. Shout out to those 2 guys.
Shout to you indeed. Thank you so much indeed, all of you. Well done, Jaden.
Thank you.
Well done, Kimani.
Thank you.
Well done, Bakar.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done, all of the 5 gentlemen who contested for the annual Mr. Executive 2026, but there's only one winner. But each of them is already a winner. And they are ready for you to tap them and say, hey, come join my business. Did you see how they're dressed? They have the aptitude right now and the attitude perfect for employment with you. So reach out and see if you can provide them that opportunity that they're looking for. And so thank you again, Mr. Cumberbatch, as always. You're welcome too. And so that's it for today. My little crew joins me saying to all of you, have a terrific today. Be it the will of the Lord. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.